Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining me today. And I appreciate you taking that time. And just, if I hadn't said it lately, thank you. A lot of you have been with me now through 119 Psalms. You've been there from the beginning. And so I really appreciate that. And I hope you've learned something. And I will tell you, I know I have. Um, and learn some things about the Psalms themselves, some lessons, and so my prayer is it's been beneficial to you as you have learned the Psalms. And again, one of the things that I'm going to say again, it comes up ever so often if you've been with us very long, is one of the main lessons we learn in the Psalms is that there is nothing too big, nothing too ugly, nothing too hard that we can't cry out to the Lord. And we see that over and over again in the Psalms. And so as we pick up today, we'll be going back to the 119th Psalm and starting there in the 33rd verse this time. And starting in the next section here, and looking at the fifth section. And again, each one of these sections begins, and we don't see it in English, but if we did see it in English, what you would see is that each section started with an A, B, then a C, then a D, then an E. Same thing here. It just works. Each section works through the Hebrew alphabet. And so this is the fifth letter of the alphabet, the fifth section. And this is a good little section, good passage, because the psalmist is longing for, desiring to see revival. And really, the difference here that, let me clarify, really personal revival is not, we talk about a lot of times we want to see revival. We're talking about the church, we're talking about the nation, something like that. But the psalmist realizes something very important here is that revival would begin with him. And so he wants to see his relationship with the Lord restored. And he knows, he confesses here something else that we need to learn is that happens through and by the Word of God. And so we'll be starting here in verse 33, where the psalmist says, "Teach me, O Lord, the way of thy statutes, and I shall keep it unto the end." And so he recognizes here again that, here's a man who realizes that no matter how far along the road he has come in his spiritual journey, that he still needed the statutes and the guidance of the Lord. That he still needed to pay attention to his own spiritual condition. And that's something very important for us this morning, is to meditate on that for a moment, to keep that thought primary in our walk, that we continually are guarding and looking at, considering where we are spiritually. It's so common for us today to look at the news, look at the world around us, and be concerned about the conditions in this world. But here, the psalmist teaches us that an important lesson is we should be concerned about the spiritual condition of the world around us, certainly. But the one thing, while we are concerned about the spiritual condition of the world around us, the only thing we can really do anything about is our own spiritual condition. We can pray about the spiritual condition of the world. We can pray for revival. We can do all those things. But ultimately, we really don't have a whole lot of control over anyone else's spiritual situation. But the psalmist says, teach me. I can only imagine that many church people today, many Christians, well-meaning, I don't want to throw them under the bus, well-meaning Christians would pray that a little differently. We would pray something like, teach them your statutes. And so the psalmist here recognizes something very important that you and I need to, again, hang on to, that we need to keep in our minds is teach me. Teach me, O Lord, your statutes. Teach me, and I will keep it. He takes personal responsibility for his spiritual development. If you continue, and let's just scan through the psalm real quickly. I don't think we usually just go verse at a time, but look what he says. If you look at verse 34, give me understanding. I will keep the law. I will observe it with my whole heart. Make me to go. Therein I do delight. Incline my heart. Turn away my eyes, quicken me, establish thy word unto thy servant. My reproach, I fear, I have longed, quicken me. So you see a pattern there. He is repeatedly, and we're going to talk about that as we work our way through this section, is saying me, me. There's an old spiritual that says, it's not my brother, not my sister, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's not my brother, it's not my sister, but it's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. I'll get it right. And that's what the psalmist is saying here. So he says, first of all, Lord, teach me your statutes. Why would he say that? And I don't remember, I would give credit, but I don't remember who I heard talking about this. It's not an original thought for me, but it was talking about how the statutes and knowing the Word of God are kind of like the guardrails on the side of the highway. They're what keep us in the road. Even when we doze off, they bounce us back into the road. And so he knows and he acknowledges that he needs the Lord to teach him those ways. He doesn't have it all figured out, that he's not everything he needs to be, and that left to his own devices, he would stray. And so he says, Lord, you keep me. I want to develop a love for your word. I want your word to be the boundaries on my life that keep me where I need to be, that keep me serving you and following you so that I can keep it until the end. I want to be faithful to you all the way to the end of my life. As I think about that verse and I think about what we're talking about there, I'm reminded, and I don't know if they still have either one of them, but I remember as a kid growing up, we'd go to Carowinds, and they had two sets of cars. One of them were old. Those of you who are old enough, you might remember, they had one set that were kind of like hillbilly jalopies, and they had another set that were like race cars. But both of them had the same thing in common. They had a concrete little track that you, quote, drove the car around. But what they both had was right down the middle of that little concrete track, it had a piece of metal that went along the whole track. And underneath the car, it had things where that car sat on those tracks. You couldn't get off the road. And you could take your hand off the steering wheel, just push the gas pedal, and it would get up against that metal rail and drive you all the way through the track and back around. But if you tried to, if you didn't steer correctly, that rail would bounce you back into, it'd keep you on the track. You couldn't just drive off through the woods in their car. And that to me is the picture I have in my mind when I think of what he says here. Those cars also had sensors on them that you couldn't ram the car in front of you. If you got close to the car in front of you, the motor would cut off, or not cut off, but it would cut back and you couldn't go. So you couldn't get off the track and you couldn't hit the car in front of you, and the car behind you couldn't hit you. That's what I think of when I think of this passage and I think of the Word of God. Thank God for the Word of God that keeps me on the track, keeps me from hitting the car in front of me, keeps me from getting hit by the car behind me, but keeps me in the way of the Lord. And so today I hope you'll pray that prayer. Lord, teach me your statutes so that I can stay on the road and stay out of trouble. All right, you have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.